With free agency just around the corner, we're going to take a deep dive onto what we think the Tennessee Titans need to do on offense. Welcome back to another Titans Bros video. As you see, I have my trusty partner in crime, little brother, Josiah.
Yeah, you replaced me.
I did replace you last week by just
another bearded man.
Just another bearded man in his 30s, barely known around the Titans community, not going by Tic Tac Titans or Locked on Titans or anything like that. But so we got the real talent back in.
Yep, that's me.
That wasn't a dig at Josiah at all. But anyway, so we got the real real talent back in here, ready to break down his opinions on the what he thinks we should do in free agency offensively, and me as well. So, anything you want to say before we just hop right on in?
No, it's just good to be back, and let's get into this because free agency is only a couple of weeks away, and we got a lot of moolah to spend. So this could be exciting times.
Yeah, they keep updating it a bunch, but like 75-ish is what we're at right now.
Which, that's a lot.
It is. It went down where we had less because there's that whole thing where if you don't re-sign certain players, then you get hit with that dead cap.
Yeah.
The dead cap officially counted for Azeez, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Tannehill, Henry. So that made it go down. But then with the salary cap going up, it went back up again.
I wouldn't mind if we signed one of those people.
Yeah, I mean, technically, just because we didn't doesn't mean we won't.
But I wish we would have before the dead cap.
I mean, yeah, so we didn't have to pay the basically a penalty. Yeah. But I agree with you.
Out of those, I think Alshire, I always say his name wrong, but
yeah,
he's who I would rather keep of all of them, I think. But
I do agree with that. But defense will be another day. Defense will be another day. I'm just going to literally start. Also, we're not being sponsored by them, but today Spotrac is what we're going by. Spotrac has all the free agents listed, has for the bigger names the market value projected and everything like that. We're basically going to try to take a little bit of a deep dive. We're going to start off with a position where needs more discussion than you would think. Quarterback. Reason I say it needs more than you would think is because let's be honest. Will Levis's last year in college, he was injury prone. Then in training camp, hurts himself. Then his first year actually playing, hurts himself. Misses a game or two, comes back, hurts himself again. Most of it was because of a bad O-line.
I mean, I agree with you. That's something I was thinking about, and it's kind of a problem that not many people are talking about. He spent a lot of time last year in college and his rookie season injured. A lot of it, to be honest.
Yeah, sadly.
That's something I really wasn't thinking about. For some reason, mostly I was just thinking about, was he good enough, yada, yada, yada. But you're right. When you think about it, he spent a lot of time on the injured list. And I feel like we don't need another injury-prone quarterback with Marcus Mariota and Jake Locker.
I agree. So I'm going to jump into some, because I'm going to go tell you my opinion right now. You tell me if I agree. Or if you agree. Malik Willis. I am so out on Malik Willis now. It's not even funny. I'm out. And when you have a young quarterback like Will Levis, we actually need a veteran backup QB, in my opinion. Okay. So with that, the number one that kind of pops up, obviously someone like Kirk Cousins is still going to start somewhere. Ryan Tannehill is probably going to start somewhere as well, or at least fight for a starting job. And because of that, he's not going to want to just come back to us just to be our backup. So some of the veteran options are out there. We got Jacoby Brissett, Mitch Trubisky, Tyrod Taylor. What do we think about any of those?
Jacoby Brissett's been a decent backup. He's won some games in this league.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind him. Like, he's not a starting quarterback, but none of these people, you want to play more than 10 games. Probably not. You would rather not play more than 6 games. But if Will Levis gets hurt again, could he win you half if he plays 4 games or something? I think so. I don't want Mitchell Trubisky at all, to be honest. He was bad at Pittsburgh. Tyrod Taylor actually didn't do bad for the Giants. So I don't know. I don't think I would mind him either.
Yeah, I would give a B to Jacoby Brissett or Tyrod Taylor. Trubisky, I'm out on.
Should I have yeah, I guess I probably should I give him a letter grade or no?
If you want to.
Jacob, well, we'll try again. Jacoby Brissett, I would give that a B. I would give that a solid B. Mitchell Trubisky F, and then Tyrod Taylor, that's a B minus. I think with Jacoby and Tyrod, if Will Levis gets hurt, let's say he's out for 2 weeks, neither of those two quarterbacks are bad enough that I'd be like, oh, this week's done. You know what I mean? Like we would have done with Malik Willis. You know, They came in, or if Will Levis even just missed the rest of the game or something, and one of them had to come in, I wouldn't be like, no, we're shot, we're done, we can't do nothing.
Yeah, I agree. What about Marcus Mariota? A little reunion.
Saw that, and I was curious what you would think about that.
I would be okay with him for a backup.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I really don't. I think well, it was one game Jalen Hurts stepped out of. I think it was the last game of the season. Actually, maybe it came in, and he actually didn't look bad. I think
his first pass was a pick, but then he was good after that. But I think it was like a classic Mariota was like too high on a screen pass, and the guy kind of like tipped it to a defensive man. I don't know why he could not hit screen passes.
He cannot hit screen passes. Don't do.
But yeah, I would give that a B plus as a Marcus Mariota. So assuming we're looking at the same list, are you looking at a list or not really? Okay, is the next one after Mariota Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, Drew Lock. I'm out on those.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, he could very well start in Tampa, stay and start in Tampa, and if not, I'm sure he's going to look for a start.
No, he did really, really well this year. There's no way he's a backup. No one's giving him a backup.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not even someone I would consider.
I mean, I just looked. Spotrac has him projected at $27 million a year.
Yeah,
definitely ain't paying a backup that much. Gardner Minshew, by far the best backup quarterback in the league because I think he's better than a lot of the starting quarterbacks. He's projected at $5 million a year. I would pay $5 million. I would do it. Absolutely. Yeah, I would give that. That would be my home run hit. If we could get Minshew as our backup at $5 million, I'd take it.
Because it does probably debate that he's better than Will Levis, to be honest, at this point.
Sadly, he's played a lot more football. Yeah. Is there anybody else that's jumping out at you? There's like some people like Josh Dobbs and things like that, but he kind of came back to earth.
He did.
After a hot start with the Vikings when he first went over there.
No, because you keep going, a bunch of people like, nah.
Yeah. Like even like Jake Browning has the Cincy connection, but he's projected at 5.2. So would you rather have for the exact same amount Jake Browning or Gardner Minshew?
I will say Jake Browning knows our coach well, so that would be some familiarity.
Yeah, but over the two, I would still take Gardner Minshew. Yeah. Now, if he's not trying to, if he's still trying to find a starting gig somewhere, I would lean Mariota though. That's just me.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I would actually rather Minshew. I think Mariota would be cool just because I like Mariota. It'd be nice to see him back in Tennessee, but I think Minshew, at least right now, is a smidge better. I
mean, that's what I'm saying. Is I would rather Minshew, but I feel like Minshew's going to want to start somewhere or at least try to start somewhere. Yeah. I think Mariota's probably come to the point in his career where he's like, I'm a backup.
Yeah.
So. All right, let's go ahead and move to running backs. You ready to move running backs?
Yep.
That's probably a deeper dive than we needed to do because
as quarterback.
For quarterback. Yeah. We discussed this before we actually hit record. Is we've only got 3 more, this and 2 more videos before free agency happens. So then it's just going to be recaps to free agency. So we don't need to dilly-dally around too much. Let's see. Hit running back. Hit update. Free agent running backs. What's your thought on Derrick Henry? They're still projecting at 10.3. I feel like we just had too perfect of an ending with him that needed to be the way it was. And I know that's going to ruffle a lot of Titans fan. And Derrick Henry might be my favorite Titan of all time. But I think that was just a perfect way to end it and see him off.
Yeah, I agree. There's some of these running backs that, like they're good. But I want a running back that's not, this might sound weird, but that's not going to be a running back that you just give the ball 25, 30 times and you're tempted to run it more than throw it. Is that weird to say? Like, I want a good running back, but some of these top running backs, like Josh Jacobs, will go back to running the ball 30 times and throwing it 20 times. You know what I mean? And I just don't want that.
Yeah, I'm out on Josh Jacobs. I'm out on Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler. All those I'm so far out on, because if we're going for a high value, high dollar veteran running back, why not just bring Derrick Henry back?
Well,
In my
to be
opinion.
honest, I would say, you know what sounds cool to me is a Tony Pollard and a Tajay Spears duo. That sounds nice to me.
Now,
I think Tajay Spears shows that he's good in a duo situation. Both of them can catch. Both of them can be more of a scat back. I actually kind of like that duo, though. That sounds pretty nice.
that's the only one of the veteran high dollar running backs I could get behind. He's projected at 6.5. I'm okay with 6.5, but anything over that, if we start getting closer to 8, 9, or 10, then I'm out.
I agree.
I'm out on it.
But does that sound like a good duo?
I mean, it does. It does. Now, I mean, it definitely means power is completely out of our backfield.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's 2024. So
Exactly.
that might be fun. Ezekiel Elliott, Gus Edwards, I'm out on.
No.
Cordarrelle Patterson, maybe if he's like a very, very minimal contract. 2.5 is what he's projected. I would maybe be okay with that. But he's gotten so old. He's like 32, 33.
Yeah.
Like he's old. Solid options would be a Devin Singletary, DeAndre Swift, Deontay Foreman. I think those would all be fine.
Deontay Foreman would be that good. If you need 2 yards kind of running back.
Diet Derrick Henry is basically he would be.
I think something like him and a Spears 1-2 punch sounds good to me.
I agree. Foreman would be my home run higher probably because he's only projected 3. Just 3 million.
Yeah, 3 million. Get him to, and again, you're not giving him the ball 20 times, but he gets you the short yardage. You got Spears getting you the in between. I think that's a good mix right there.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is obviously a better runner, but Deontay Foreman's hands weren't actually bad.
No,
he wasn't afraid for being a big guy. He wasn't afraid to snag him out of the backfield. And also having Deontay Foreman, I don't think you feel pressured to run him 25 times a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
So now we got Mariota as our backup. We got Foreman as our 1-2 punch with Spears in the backfield.
Real quick, I'm going to throw a name at you real quick.
Okay, let's hear it.
Kareem Hunt.
I thought about that too. What's his market value sitting at? Let's take a gander. 4.5. Yeah, now let me put it this way. At only 4.5, he would be my home run.
That would be nice.
Yeah, if we go after him for 4, because then them two are very similar. Tajay Spears and Kareem Hunt, in my opinion. Their style of play is very similar. So keeping them both fresh.
That would be
nice. Yeah, so I have a new home run higher. Kareem Hunt.
But
if we get Kareem Hunt
I'll take Foreman or Hunt.
Yeah. Now I'm loving the team we're building here. All right, tight end. This is one I'm gonna do tight end real quick because I think this is gonna be very quick for me.
Tight end, you said?
Yeah, I don't want any tight ends.
Oh, that's how fast. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like you can look at people like Hunter Henry, Gerald Everett, Dalton Schultz, because if we give high dollars to any of those people, that's basically saying one of our main things we're going to do this offseason is replace Chig. Chig wasn't as good as we want him to be.
Though, we need a number 2. I feel if we have a 3.
So you're out on Josh Wiley.
Josh Wiley's not a 2, in my opinion, not right now. At least he hasn't shown zero-ness that he is. And we need... I know the last 2 people we had for this role has not been good, but we need a blocking tight end. Now, I'll agree with you. Like
Michael Pruitt's a free agent.
Oh, I didn't know he was still in the league. He wasn't terrible, was he, at that?
No, he was terrible in the passing game.
But that's
every time he caught it, he was so stupid slow.
We didn't need that. Because these top tight ends, obviously, is more catching tight ends. Like, none of these are what I would want. Oh, Jeff Swain.
Yeah, but like Jeff Swaim, Michael Pruitt. We have all of our old guys.
I wouldn't mind a Michael Pruitt reunion as long as you keep him in his role, and that's blocking.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
That's that.
Let me put it this way: if it is, it's just
quick. Let me just say this real quick. You would want Riley to be on number 2.
Yeah, because I feel like if he plays for any of the other 31 teams, he would have gotten way more playing time because we've already talked about how Vrabel does the whole Patriot thing where rookies are not allowed to see the football field.
I mean, I agree with that, but Chig's not a blocker. Neither does that bother you? Yes, I know you don't want to run the ball like heavy sets anymore, but you still want your time to block somewhat, do you?
Yeah, but I don't think Josh Wiley's a bad blocker. Now Chig needs work. Chig does need work blocking.
Which because Chig looks big, like he should be able to do something, but blocking is a lot of positions and positional footwork and all that stuff, and I guess he just sucks at it.
Apparently.
Anyway, but like you said though, at the end of the day, that's not important to us because we have our number one.
No, and we have a lot of cash, but we don't need to be just throwing out a 4th round pick, the next year a 5th round pick, and then just free agency money also thrown at just tight end, which it's something I've heard someone say, I don't remember who it was, but the Bengals have never had a good tight end. It's been a long time since they've had a good tight end. Yeah. So it's very possible a tight end is not really a huge part of a Callahan type offense.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and go to wide receiver. This is a big one where we'll take wide receiver and O-line. Actually, that's the only 2 positions left. Is where we'll spend the rest of the bulk of this video. Update. All right. Let's go through some people and you tell me in or out. Mike Evans, and this one might surprise you. I don't think he's going anywhere, but my answer on him might surprise you. I am out on Mike Evans. He
was actually available?
Yeah. He's 30 years old. He'll be 31, I think, before the season. And his market value right now is $23.8 million.
That's steep.
At 31, and we'll have 32-year-old DeAndre Hopkins. Like, I'm just looking 32 and 31-year-old is our number 1 and 2 wide receiver. I just feel like, I don't know, that just doesn't sound like a good idea to me.
I mean, I agree, but
if he was like 15 or 16 million, heck yeah, I'd take him.
I would say this, in my opinion. I'm looking at this list, and it's a sad thing, but sadly, there's a huge, and I mean huge, gap between him and all of the receivers. Like, I'm looking at other receivers, and this, I hate to say this, but none of these are game changers to me, and that's very disappointing because we desperately need help. And I'm almost looking at this like, oh, I guess we're going to have to do something in draft because none of these people are game changers.
Yeah. They have Odell Beckham Jr. at 11.9. There's no way in heck I'm giving him that.
He wasn't great. Not going to say he was awful, but he's definitely...
He was 500-something yards, I think is all he was.
Yeah, exactly. So that's bad.
I don't understand how that became a thing. Curtis Samuel, he's too much too. He's projected at 11.5.
That's too much.
Yeah, so Curtis Samuel would be good at a value, like a 5 or 6 mil. I'm not giving this dude 11. There's a lot of people who want us to go after Tyler Boyd, but do you think slot receiver, older slot receiver is the right way? Yeah, I'm not on that one either.
Man, I don't like any of these receivers.
Kendrick Bourne, 4.8 million. I'm not sure I'm feeling. What do you think about Kendrick Bourne?
No.
Why did I think there were a lot of strong options?
Yeah, we are screwed. It's going to sound weird to say because we desperately need receiver help. And that's why I'm going to say we got to plunge for Mike Evans. You may not like it, but Mike Evans right now is a walking 1,000-yard season, So you got him. And he's been durable. And so is Hopkins. So, yes, they're both old, but you just cross your fingers and hope these two people can continue to be durable and give you good stuff. Now, granted, I say we need to draft somebody to replace one of those two as they retire or slow down. Because you can't just, Mike Evans and Hopkins is not a 5-year solution, not even a 3-year solution, But look at this list. Is any of these people game changers? I mean,
I see a couple that I'm okay with. Actually, one in particular I'm happy with. Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown. I would be down with that. How long has it been since we've had speed on our offense?
I guess, but he is a certain receiver, though. I mean, that's fine. You could have him.
He's projected at about 14.8 million.
Oof, that's steep. But again, sometimes you have to pay. You just have to.
Yeah. Well, for number 2 wide receiver, that's not steep. So that's why I'd be down for Hollywood Brown.
There was the Calvin Ridley that you talked about.
That was the other one I was gonna say. He's projected 17 million though. That seems a little steep because he just barely reached 1,000 yards in a very pass-happy offense.
Yeah.
Now these are always just projections because I remember us doing this last year with Spotrac, and both of us saying we were out on Dalton Schultz just because he was projected at 15 million a year. I think I lost my audience.
No, I was listening.
Okay. Yeah, I was out on Dalton Schultz because he's projected, I think, 15 million a year. And then he ended up going to the Texans for like 8 million. So like it wasn't even close. So obviously projections are so hard to come by, or so hard to like guess. I mean,
yeah, but
yeah.
I with these lists, there's not very good options. I say Mike Evans, and it's like Mike Evans is the only game changer, and then you have the Hollywood Brown, and you have Calvin Ridley, who would both be like that would help us. That would give you some solid yards, but I don't know if it's a game changer. So I think Mike Evans is the only one there that you're like, okay, our offense is significantly better.
Yeah. But I just personally don't see him becoming a free agent.
That's my biggest thing. I agree. I don't think that's happening.
No, I guess
So
we'll have to see
man,
about
that
that.
receiving core, that is some bad receiving list.
Yeah, so I'm thinking my home run would be Marquise Brown. Give us the savvy vet, and DeAndre Hopkins. Give us Hollywood Brown as speed, and then draft a wide receiver either in the second round, or if the top tackles go in the first round, you don't need to draft a third tackle just way too earlier than he should be.
Yeah,
And if like Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze is there at 7, take one of them too. And then we'd have actually a really nice looking wide receiver core. So I guess Hollywood Brown would be my home run hit. I mean, obviously if we could get Mike Evans for a nice price, I'm down. But paying a 31-year-old $23 million a year, and he has zero reason to leave the Bucs, honestly. Kind of like Michael Pittman was on there, but the Colts have so much cap space. There's no reason for the Colts not to bring him back. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, and then obviously T. Higgins is technically on this list, even though he just got tagged. And so there's a lot of people on there that would be good, but there's honestly little to no chance of them actually becoming a free agent. So my home run hit would be Hollywood Brown or Calvin Ridley would be fine too.
Yeah, I would say Hopkins. Nope. I would say Evans is my home run if he was available, but I don't think he would be. So out of all those people, I'm going to go with Hollywood Brown just because he adds a little, like you said, speed that we don't have. So that would go there as well.
Do you want to look at left tackles, or are you just thinking we got to address that in the draft?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, in my mind, if we can get Joe Alt in the first round, maybe Olaf Ishanu, but
that's
Joe
the
Alt.
2 names I've always thought about.
Yeah, J.C. Latham is supposed to be like the number 3, but I've heard a lot of people are like J.C. Latham. I think he's from Alabama. Like he's kind of dodgy. Like steer clear. So
basically, you try to say I don't think you said this earlier. If we don't get our hands on those 2, you think there's going to be a big gap between 2 and 3?
Yeah, but at the same time, I've also heard this is a deep tackle class, saying that you could actually get a quality tackle in the second round, which is why I want a tackle in the first round. I want a tackle in the first round, but if we were to get a receiver in the first round, like Malik Neighbors, there's chances we really could get us a day 1 starter in the second round. Because remember, we're picking very early in the second round because we're a bad football team. So for the sake of time, let's skip past our left tackles. We'll go straight to right tackle. Sound good?
Yep.
Oh, did my list? Let me know in the comments if anyone's even made it this far in the video. If you like the way we're just kind of doing an absolute ragtag version of a video, just kind of doing basically all of our research on the spot. There's not a big list here. Did you not get a very big list? I think there's 9 players. Trenton Brown. He's kind of been my number 1 option.
Yeah, that's who I've been talking about. But the thing is, he's going to be sought after. That's where you're going to have to spend a pretty penny to get. I can just tell you right now.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's where the money's got to go to.
Yeah. He's a big dude. He is 30, I believe.
He is 30, so that's... But tackles can play late.
I know that. Ask Andrew Whitworth. He played till he was, what, 40?
40, literally.
So, yeah. It doesn't have to be like a stupid long one either. It could be like a 2-year deal. We have him this year, next year. We're like, if he ends up being bad this year, we can have a possible out and give him the old snip, get him on out of here.
What's he projected, like contract-wise?
It doesn't have a protection for me, for whatever reason. The only one they actually
have. He's my guy.
Yeah, Trent Brown's my go-to. There's George Fant, who we obviously brought in for a visit, but actually ended up going with
what's his name?
They don't
What
have
was his
his.
name?
They don't have him on here for some reason. Chris Hubbard.
Do you want David Questenberry?
No, no. He was bad for us. Kendall Lamb. He was also bad for us. Yeah, honestly, look at this list. Jonah Williams. I know a lot of people want us to go after Jonah Williams, but he did not have a good year.
I'll say this, and maybe it's because good teams don't let tackles go, and maybe that's why. But you're right. This list is very small.
It's very small.
And then the people that's on it, like, oh, you suck. You know.
Yeah, I will say this is kind of sad. I kind of just had it in my head, yeah, we're just going to address right tackle and free agency, move on. But I'm starting to look on, there's only like 4 who might actually be starting material.
Again, which means they're going to get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, and most of them are on the wrong side of 30. Like Trenton Brown's over 30, George Fant's 30. So even Quesenberry and Lamb might be getting close to 30.
And if you want me to be honest, I'm a little annoyed in the sense that I feel like we have money, but the lists are not there. What's wrong?
David Quesenberry's 33, so he's even older than I thought.
But I feel like the receiver list, not impressive. The right tackle, there's one guy who I want, but if he's gone, we are screwed. We got money, but I don't know if we can help ourselves. Which I gotta admit, if we go into next season with an offensive line I don't trust and a receiver core that's nasty, I'm gonna be like, what's the point? We're just gonna go and be the exact same team, just without the toughness for April. So yay.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Do you want to jump into guard or not really? Because to me, I think guard is the only part of the offensive line that we're fine.
Yeah.
Because like if we're spending money, I don't know that guard is a place we need to spend it. Because as I said about Chig Okonkwo, and this is why I'm against this, us spending a lot of money at tight end in free agency. I'm also against us drafting Brock Bowers. Because I'm thinking, are we really going to use our high resources or our high draft picks to make sure Chig Okonkwo gets knocked down a peg? Like, does that really seem like the number one priority in the offseason? That's how I feel with Daniel Brunskill. Obviously, Peter Skoronski's starting on left guard. So when I'm thinking we have this money and these draft picks, are we really like, is getting Brunskill replaced and out of here really what should be high on the priority list?
Yeah, I agree. So I think Brunskill and Skoronski, like if that was our 2 guys going to next season, I'd be like, okay, I can deal with that.
That's kind of what I've been saying the whole time. Leave the guards, clear out the rest. Which let's go ahead and jump into center. And there's several options that seem to be nice.
Jason Kelce, that's not happening. He's retiring or staying with Philly.
Connor Williams was supposed to be like the top center, but he actually tore his ACL late in the season. So that could complicate some things, but he's still, even after that, is projected market value at $13.5 million a year.
That's a lot of money for a guy that's not going to play probably much next year.
Yeah, Aaron Brewer is projected at 5.2, which I'm not sure what he did deserve a raise because he made 4 point something for us last year. Now they're projecting even more than that, so I don't know why they think he deserves more money after his performance. Because I've heard a lot of folks say bring Brewer back. I'm out on Brewer.
No, he's been on our team for too long.
Yeah. Here's who I would be into, and this is my home run hit. That would be Lloyd Cushenberry. He was the center for the Broncos, who they just cut him for cap reasons. He was a third-round pick from 2020. 26 years old is all he is. And he's one of those people that'll be similar to Daniel Brunskill, where he is not a top of the line by any means, but he'll hold his own. So if we have a high-level left tackle, a high-level left guard, a center and right guard that'll hold their own, and then a decent right tackle free agency, to me, that line's looking a whole lot better.
It is. And that sounds good to me. The only thing is, though, that scares me is we got 1, maybe 2 options at right tackle. If we miss it, we got nothing again. And so you can have all the money you want, but there's literally no good options. There's no good options.
I will say this: Bill Callahan, being the new O-line coach, could have completely different visions and views as to what these people are. Because think about it, somebody like Nicholas Petit-Frere was a tackle, but there's been people saying he could play maybe guard and would maybe be better at guard than at tackle. So you never know when he might see him at a guard instead of a tackle. And then you got people like Dylan Radins. I've heard people float out the idea that Dylan Radins could be the center of the future. So you never know when Bill might come and say, "Oh, he actually could be a center," because Dylan Radins is technically a highly drafted player as well. So we'll see what Bill Callahan kind of starts doing when we start running like these first OTAs and things like that. It'd be really nice to see where he has people viewed, because like Dylan Radins, I think he's literally played every spot except center. He's played both tackles. He's played both guards. My problem with him is, do you remember how many false starts he did?
That offensive line of ours did so many of those.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But I will say, if you got Nicholas Petit-Frere and you got Dylan Radins being depth when they had been starting a lot for us, that's a good problem in my opinion.
I would just say, I was hoping most of this money would go on the offense side, but receiving on tight end and tackles, I mean, it's still not great. But I would say maybe next year I have to lower my expectations that we may not be as good as I was hoping, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can. Hopefully, what's his name? Ron Carthon can do some kind of magic here and find some talent, hidden talent.
Yeah. I mean, at people, we could give Jonah Williams a shot. We could. I wasn't sold on him.
I could see that being the guy just because his Cincy connection. That's what I can see.
His connections are a real thing. Connections are a real thing, because like almost all of Ron Carthon's first class was just people that he knew from the 49ers. Like Daniel Brunskill, Arden Key, and Azeez Al-Shire were like his main gets, I guess, if you will. So from left to right, you ready for this O-line? Joe Alt, Peter Skronsky, Lloyd Cushenberry, Daniel Brunskill, Trenton Brown? Because it was just Trent Williams. But I always want to say Trenton Brown.
Had one more, like, that's a really good offensive lineman. I think on left side. I
mean, here's the problem. The really, quote unquote, really good offensive linemen in free agency are all guards.
I get that.
So to do that, it would be Brunskill that have to get the axe.
I feel like you have the first two names you said, like, okay, really good. Okay, good. You have Center, like, he's all right. Brunskill, he's all right. And then the attack, like, he's all right. But good, which, by the way, is a lot better than we had last year.
They would say good, all right is way better than just, what is this offensive line? We might actually have a league average O-line.
Yeah, that's improvement. But I guess maybe I expected too much with the money we have. But money can't make players better than they are. So, if the lists are not great, there's only so much you can do.
I agree. Is there anything else we need to say? Because sadly, I knew we would do this, but it's been a long video. We really should have broken this up into several, but we literally ran out of weekends to do these, to do the, like, basically a preview of free agency, because it is currently the day of recording, the 25th of February. So we got 3 weeks, 3 videos, this being one of them.
Which is exciting.
Yeah. I will say I am off the day of free agency, like Wednesday. So I think we might need to do an emergency Wednesday night video to recap like the initial big signings. Man. You'll be moved to days, right?
Yeah. So you should be good. But, in that first day, we could both be very happy or we could be very disappointed.
One or the other. Probably not in between.
Ty's done this in the past, but Grant, we have a whole different staff and stuff. So I'm not saying that means we're going to do this. But we've, sometimes saved money in situations like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing that? And I hope we don't. It's like we have money, but we're just sitting down. We keep on getting people that's like on the second day or the third day for good prices. But I'm like,
that was a Rustin Webster thing. John Robinson was kind of the opposite, where he kind of a lot of times spent too much money. And that's why I feel like every single year we started off by having to cut a bunch of expensive players that were fine. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There's our offensive plan. I already said if we can get those 5-0 linemen, if we can go after DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, and a high draft pick at wide receiver, Titans pretty much fine the way it is. Bring in Kareem Hunt. Let's get. What about maybe Jameis Winston as a backup quarterback?
No.
You want Jameis Winston as backup? All right, Marcus Mariota then, or I still don't think Minshew's looking for a backup job. But anyways, that seems to me like it could very well revamp the offense because you got to remember how lacking. Like Hollywood Brown might seem lackluster, but think about it. What's better, Hollywood Brown or Chris Moore? Hollywood Brown or Nick Westbrook-Akina? Hollywood Brown or
Traylon Burks?
Traylon Burks. Yeah, I mean he's just an immediate upgrade over all those. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see. Is there anything else you want to add before we get on out of here?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, so I apologize for just rambling. I knew this is how this video would pretty well go. We didn't really put a whole lot of studying into it because that's just too many names and players for us to actually stop and think about and write stuff down about and then just try to present it all in a video. Maybe it would have been more organized, but also at the same time, I don't really have time to do that. I don't know about you. So I'd rather just do it right here on the fly. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. We'll be talking about defense. We might slide special teams in there, which special teams is going to be super short and simple to bring everyone back. But so we'll do that. So we'll go ahead and sign on out of here. Tighten up. Titan Bros are out. Peace out. And see y'all later.